Okay guys, this is it. After starting our Nakasendo journey at Nihonbashi Bridge in Tokyo, we spent 2 days walking out of the large metropolis and through the suburbs of Saitama Prefecture. From there, the landscape changed in Gunma Prefecture to more forest. But don't touch the blue, or you're gonna get electrocuted. We crossed the Usui Pass, which started our adventure across Nagano Prefecture. Here we met some wonderful people, crossed some beautiful mountains and forested areas, and just over the Wada Pass, I paid a visit to my old stomping grounds. And I've been fortunate to come take part in it a few times. After 9 days of crossing beautiful villages in one of the largest and most mountainous prefectures in Japan, we head into the exciting home stretch. We're gonna head down into Magome on that path right there. Bulletin board, old bulletin board. It's pretty similar to Tsumago, but it looks like the buildings are more modern. Probably been rebuilt recently, but still pretty nice. I'd like to come back, spend a little more time here. I think I'm gonna grab some coffee now though. Nice view, look at this. Got about 10 more K to go to Nakatsukawa. And I'm actually staying in a hotel tonight. Yay, gonna get a bath, wash my clothes. This isn't really a sightseeing area, but back there in those two towns, Tsumago and Magome, and since then the roads have these colors, these yellow and white stones, and these are for people walking the Nakasendo to not get lost, probably mainly to make sure tourists don't wander off to the side streets and in neighborhoods, but tourists don't come this far from that town. But I imagine this will probably end pretty soon. It's a nice Japanese ryokan. It's called Shinchaya. And we're back to the Nakasendo signs that are only in Japanese. So it's only about 3:30, but it's kind of dark just because of the trees, and it's a gloomy, rainy day. But this is not the kind of place you want to be walking when it gets dark. These rocks are pretty uneven, and it's a good place to get a broken ankle or slip and fall, hurt your back or hurt something. The waterfall, yay! Come out from here, out onto this, when you get to this main road, there's a little concrete sign, but right here. On this night, I stayed at a business hotel about 2 kilometers off the trail. It's day 14, and today is going to be a heavy rain day pretty much all day. Got a lot of miles to cover. Try to do about 35K to the town of Kani. This is what we're shooting for. And today's gonna be a long stretch without much of anything. So I think it's gonna be through the woods, but it's an area where there's no convenience stores, no supermarkets, no restaurants. So I bought a little bit of food. Got a banana and some snacks and a ham and cheese croissant, so just in case you get hungry. So we're back on the trail, and you can tell because, like I told you yesterday, the yellow and white rocks and asphalt lets you know that's the Nakasendo. Some towns and cities do that just to keep wandering people from getting lost. So we're in the town of Takenami. It's almost 10:30. We've walked about 15k. We got another 25 or 30 left to go, but good thing is it's not hot, but everything is soaking wet. Before you take a hiking trip like this, study up about the gear, because I have these Patagonia nylon pants and these things dry really fast. They were just soaked, and I can get into a dry place for 15 minutes and they're already dry again. And also for your backpack, even if you have one of these rain protectors, make sure everything inside is wrapped in plastic too, because I just washed and dried my clothes last night and I don't want those to get all wet again. So everything inside my backpack is wrapped in plastic bags, because rain tends to seep through the backpack, you know, from the shoulders. This rain cover doesn't cover it 100%. So also socks, I have a wool blend socks, so my shoes are waterproof as well, so my feet aren't completely soaked. They're a little bit wet inside, but around noon today I'll probably change socks, and then by the time I arrive this evening those will probably be wet, but it'll still keep your feet mostly dry. This morning we've come through some really small towns, and pretty much this town's commemoration to the Nakasendo is this pavilion, toilets, and they have a vending machine, and they have this little container that has a Nakasendo guide, has some notebooks people left messages in. But yeah, we'll take a little break, try to get dry. Tea house hill. Whenever you see this kanji, it means hill. Saka. Chaya saka. Chaya zaka. Okubogo Hano Zaka. That's the name of this hill. When you see that kanji Saka, it means hill. I don't like those. Once you start getting these kind of areas, nothing's in English, but it does say this is the historical road, Nakasendo. I'm slow reading, but it's okay. It's just telling, this is the map that shows where we're coming from. We're here now, Genzaichi, and we're gonna go all the way over here. It shows somewhere in the middle there's some toilets. Here's a toilet there, and there's some hills there. You see Saka, a few hills along the way, and it looks like this portion that goes through the woods here is going to be about 13 kilo. It's about 13.5 kilometers. I'm just guessing that's probably 2 or 3 hours or so. Depends on how slow going we are, but I can actually, well, if it stays flat like this, you can walk faster, but I'd say you can probably do about 4 to 5 kilometers an hour. And it feels less rainy when you're under the trees here. Another bit of Japanese to learn is Kyukeijo, which is like a rest area. So there's one right up ahead. Has a roof and a table. So let's take a little break. The most important kanji of all this is Nakasendo. So you can see right there on that. So get this little rest area here. So the couple of old Japanese guys I've met that are doing this whole trail from Tokyo to Kyoto, they've been using Nakasendo book that goes through details of detours and where to go, but it's all in Japanese. I don't think there are any English versions, but there is a Nakasendo app. I think I probably mentioned it before. The Nakasendo app shows the route from Tokyo to Kyoto, and you can press GPS and it shows you exactly where you are. So I like to just keep an eye on that. So I'll check that out right now. Make sure we're on the right path, see how much further we have and where we can take breaks and things like that. So it's still a little bit early. It's only like 11, so maybe wait to the next rest station to have some lunch. It just goes from wooded trails to road through nowhere like this. Back to roads, back to trails, back to roads again. So I heard this is the longest section of nothing. It's like 30 to 40K where there's no convenience stores or anything, and I guess this was what they meant. They periodically have these signs. Not a very appealing entrance to a historical town, but what can you do? It's someone's house, yeah. It's a nice place, the wooden house. Looks like everything's all packed up in these houses. No one lives here. It's amazing. Out here in the middle of nowhere. Just rice fields and a couple of old abandoned vehicles. But they still have this sign. Some parts are muddy like that today, and some parts it turns back to stone. Ishidarami. The stone tatami is what they call it. So it looks like the golf course has another barrier here. It's electric fence. I've seen these before, and Nakasendo goes this way, but if we can't cross, I guess we gotta walk 2 weeks back to Tokyo. Let's go back to Tokyo. Just kidding. So they have these handles here, but this is low enough, we'll just step over it. Don't touch it because it's electric. And we're back on the trail. When I was a kid and we'd walk through the woods and walk down to the creek, go exploring, catching snakes and stuff, we'd sometimes walk through neighbors' yards or have to walk through someone's backyard to get to some section of the woods, and sometimes get yelled at, or sometimes they'd put up a fence, but nothing's stopping us. Not even here in Japan on the Nakasendo. Found the culprit. Katano pig farm. That's what the smell was. I don't know if I'm more wet from sweat or the rain, but I'm soaked. So the reason why I feel like I've been going up and downhill all day today is because there are 13 mountain passes on this section of the Nakasendo. This is Jusan Toge no Uchi. I don't know the name of it though. I don't know the name of this particular one. It's something hill, but this is one of 13. So let's keep going. Looks like we're coming into a little town now. So we're in the town of Okute. It's a pretty small, quiet town. I don't see anyone at all. But there's a small roof over our heads and a bench, so I'll sit down and have a bite to eat for lunch. Still got about 19 or 20 more kilometers to go to Mitake, and then the last 5 from there to Kani City. So about 25 more K and we'll be done for the day. It's raining and they have this free museum about the Nakasendo, so let's go check it out. The museum wasn't too special. They had paintings from some local guy that painted a lot of different images of the Nakasendo and of the town. Oh, it's a nice town. The buildings are really cool. That old style architecture. Some of the towns I've passed through have this QR code on the sign when you come into the town, and it tells you all about the historical places and properties and different things about the town in different languages. So that's pretty helpful for visitors when they come here. And we'll just keep following the signs. It says Okute Hospital. It's the local hospital. It's pretty old. And we're back into the woods. Let's see, it looks like to the very top, it's about 1.1 kilometer, 1150 meters to the very top. Here's another one of those QR codes. And this one's called Biwa Tollgate, Biwa Pass. So probably in another day or two, we're gonna be coming up on Biwako, Lake Biwa, which is the largest lake in Japan. Let's take a little pit stop here, since there's a roof, just to catch our breath. So I got a little bit freaked out there for a second. I checked the GPS and it was showing that we were in a totally different direction. I think it's just because the GPS signal's not so good up here, but it was showing that we were way off course. But as the sign says there, Nakasendo, and we'll continue on. If you happen to see these are boar traps. I guess they can also use them to trap bears too. So don't get inside of that or you won't get out. This town is called Magome-juku. Stop over here for a little break. Super small, quiet town, but they even have the QR code thing again to learn more about how this town was involved in the Nakasendo. It's just too wet to film much more, so gonna get to where we have to go, which is Kani tonight, Kani City. And today's gonna be the last day of the rain, so we're gonna have some good weather from here on out. So we'll pick back up tomorrow. Looks like a very berry place. Looks like it could just pop out of anywhere or chase me down from behind. Day 15, nice and sunny. Big change from the past 2 days of rain, especially yesterday, heavy rain. But we're back on the trail. Had to come about a mile away from the Nakasendo to stay in a Kaikatsu club, which is like a net cafe that I've been staying in every so often. I got my soaked clothes washed and dried. My backpack's all dry now, my shoes are dry. So we're ready for the home stretch. 4 more days and we should make it to Kyoto on Saturday evening. This is the Gifu River we're crossing now. You can see how dirty and how high the waters are from yesterday. The past 2 days of rain. Look at that. And we're just entering Minokamo City. So you see signs like that, the kanji for salt. So back in the day, salt was a precious commodity and they used it for preserving things, and so you see stores that sell it like that. This is the Hayashi house. This is cool. And a little further ahead we have the Nakasendo Kaikan. It's like a museum, and heard you can eat there as well, so let's maybe grab something to eat. Hayashi family residency. It's cool, we got the ladder here so you can go upstairs. Be a nice backyard. It's the Magome-juku Nakasendo Hall. Museums for free, they have a cafe. Oh, this is nice. Pretty much every town along the way will have this kind of site. It's a site of where the daimyo would stay. It's the Honjin Ato. It's where the main residence was for the most influential person, as groups would come through on the Nakasendo. It's where they would stay. So there were housing for upper people. There were really affordable, cheap places to stay for lower class people. So here you go. It says right there, yeah. Honjin. Magome-juku Honjin. And it has usually this place has a diagram of what it looked like. Japan has some interesting ways of crossing major roads. They build stairs that go over them, under them, and even have these tunnels that like this. And this is for the kids to use to go to school, yeah. And there's the school. Yeah, it's a really old school. And I can see the sign, Nakasendo. And we're back to the river again. There's the blue bridge behind me that we see right under this bridge. It's the one we crossed an hour and a half ago. If you're new to Japan or just coming here as a tourist, when you see Japanese cemeteries like this, you have like one major center stone and then flowers usually in front of it on each side, but that's not for one person, that's for a whole family. So pretty much since all Japanese are cremated, so one of those headstones will have maybe several generations of family. But if the family doesn't have one of these, it could cost anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 to start a cemetery plot for your family. So as you walk from Kagamihara town to the town of Sohara, you start seeing quite a few jets taking off and landing. It's because this town is home to the Self-Defense Forces air base here in Gifu. And that's the air control tower right behind me. And these are the barracks that the military personnel stay in. so we'll probably see a few jets take off and land. I'll try to record it if I can. And the Nakasendo goes right past here. Oh, there you go. There's also Kagamihara Air and Space Museum here in Gifu, here in this town. So if you happen to be in the area, be sure and check it out. The fire department across the street has some preschoolers there, checking out all the fire trucks. This town, Kakamigahara, it's probably been one of the nicest towns I've walked through since I've started doing this walk a couple weeks ago. It has a nice big park in the center of town. It's pretty developed, nice buildings through town. They have any shops you need. This is actually the first time I've seen for the Nakasendo though. But it might be hard to get used to the jets flying over every 15 minutes to a half hour. They even buried a time capsule in 1991 and we'll open it in 2071. So this is the first sign for the Nakasendo I've seen in a while. Kind of feels like we were on the suburbs of Tokyo, where towns don't really have too much of a sense of pride about being part of the Nakasendo, but here's a big concrete post. And this is really rare to find 500 yen laying on the ground. Building. It's a furniture shop. It's in good shape. I don't know if the shop's still open though. And this is really rare in Japan. It's 50 yen from 50 yen. Most of these are 50 yen and 100 yen. 50 yen vending machines are really rare. You don't see many of those. It's like 35 cents right now in US dollars. This is Kano City, and they have this, it's like a kind of a community center dedicated to the Nakasendo, and they even have this water that you can get. Look at that. Well water. And the vending machine if you need it. So today is day 16 of our Nakasendo hike, and getting close to the end. It's been 16 days since I've shaved my beard, and got 3 more days of walking, but we have some ground to cover. So we need to do probably somewhere around 40 to 45 kilometers a day, which is around 30 miles a day for the next 3 days. Which we can do. My legs are getting used to it. No injuries, and the weather should be nice. I've never been one of those kind of people that like to hurry their way through vacations or hurry their way through places. I'd rather explore and experience a place, but hiking this Nakasendo trail in itself has been a good experience. Learned a lot of things historically, and just met a lot of kind of cool people along the way. But being fortunate enough to live here in Japan, especially living almost in the dead center of Japan in Tochigi, I'm able to come back to some of the towns that I've enjoyed and want to explore a little more. Some of those like Magome-juku, even the really touristy ones like Tsumago and Magome. Maybe do that hike with my daughter. And even yesterday, Minokamo. That was a town that seemed to take pride in their historical links to the Nakasendo. And then today we're going to be walking past a really famous battlefield, Sekigahara, here in Gifu. But the actual battlefield is a little bit of a a walk a ways from this trail, it would take probably 2 hours round trip or more of walking. So that's another place I'd like to drive back to Gifu and check out. This is pretty interesting. This is artwork from that time. This is Tanaka, is the name of the person who did this, but this is what his work looks like, and this is the actual place. And it's about 20 meters from here, so pretty close by. Let's go see what it looks like, the real thing. That's it, look at that. These are the names of post towns in Gifu prefecture. Interesting. And this is Sekigahara. That's a place we'll be walking past today. And it's site of a famous battlefield that ended the civil war here in Japan, the warring era called Sengoku Jidai. And that's what started. It's when the Tokugawa shogun took over and pretty much changed the history of Japan. The country closed off for 250 years. It's a beautiful day, and we're crossing the Ibi River right now, and then we're gonna head off in that direction. Sekigahara has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different walking courses that they recommend. These are anywhere from like 6 to 10K. Take anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, and it takes you across different battle sites and historical places. And there's also bike rentals here too. So they have these posters up around town. This is for like a reenactment, and it's in October, which is when the actual battle took place in the year 1600. So the Battle of Sekigahara involved over 150,000 troops from Eastern Japan and versus Western Japan. And they don't know the number that died, but after the battle, Tokugawa, who won and ended up taking over the country, he ordered all the shrines to be repaired, and also ordered the head of this region to bury all the dead and make a burial mound for the east and for the west. And this is the burial mound for the west, basically a shrine, a temple dedicated to it. Let's see, the western head mound. We'll be able to walk past some of the encampments, some of the historical places, but the actual battlefield is a bit too far away. So definitely come back to this town. It looks like they have a little museum up here. So this small village here, part of Sekigahara town, Imasu village, is also the setting for Nemonogatari, which is an anime, which I've never seen, I don't know about. But it's also where the prefectures divide. So this is Gifu prefecture on the left, and we're about to step into Shiga prefecture on the right. Standing in two prefectures now, Gifu and Shiga. I'm walking through here in rural Shiga Prefecture. Rice fields and just a small neighborhood, but there's a big AstraZeneca factory right up at the base of the mountain. Right in the center of the screen. AstraZeneca that did the vaccine for Corona. This post town is called Magome-juku. Just had a nice long conversation with an old lady, and yeah, she thought she saw me on TV before, but I don't think so. Yeah, this is a quiet town, peaceful. This town, Bamba, has a little museum. They call it Shiryokan. It's like where they have documents and stuff from the old days. There's some walking sticks, Nakasendo maps, some books there that you can take for free. Interesting. And there's castle ruins around here, so that's where this banner. So you turn left here, 2K to get to the castle. It's Kamaha Castle site, but we're gonna go this way because we have to go over this mountain pass. Remember, mountain up and down, that means toge or pass. 2.3K, and then we'll be home free. We still got about 10K to walk today, so it's gonna be through some woods, but nice and cool this time of day. Much better than the pouring down rain a couple of days ago. Nice view of the rice fields. Believe it or not, this is part of the Nakasendo. This little back street that's running parallel to a highway, which probably used to be the Nakasendo. Here's natural spring water. Actually shows up on the map, and it's right here next to this dangerous road, which is next to a major highway. And I believe this is our last mountain pass on this whole trip, because on the map I don't see any more mountains, and once we cross through here, it should be pretty much a straight shot to Kyoto, which will take 2 days. But yeah, see, it's the top of the mountain, top of that one, and we're going right in the middle. And little did I know that this next stone marker would change my trip. From this view, the top kanji says take a right. But from this angle, the top kanji says take a left. But I saw a trailhead just across the street, so I took a left and then an immediate right. And we're gonna cut up through the woods here. That's what it's showing me. After spending all those days in those forested areas in Gunma, Nagano, and Gifu prefecture, I thought we had finished with all that, and we're back into like city, urban terrain, but I was kind of missing the wooded area, so I'm glad we have some here in Shiga prefecture. But I think once we leave this wooded area in the next half hour, that's probably it until we get to Kyoto. It's after 6 o'clock in the evening, so let's try to hurry up and get out of these woods before it gets dark. I have a flashlight and a headlight just in case though. I spoke too soon. This is the actual mountain pass, but I don't think it's too much further. Oh, there's a monkey skeleton. Look at that. You can see how narrow the jaws are. Look at that. That's kind of creepy. So the GPS signal stopped working and the trail just disappeared. It came to a dead end. So I'm just kind of following this ravine down the mountain. I can hear the highway over there, but hopefully this will come out somewhere before it gets dark. Okay, we've made it to the highway. There's a fence all around it, so let's just follow the fence. Should we go left or right? Okay, made it up, and we're on a highway, and got to figure out how to get through that tunnel to the other side without getting killed by a car. Maybe I can hitchhike my way through. I don't think there's a sidewalk that's safe enough to walk on. Oh, there's a worker down there. So there, I used this emergency line they call Nexco, which is an emergency highway help service. So I guess they're gonna come and pick me up and drop me off at a safe place. So basically the Shiga police picked me up off the side of the highway after I called the emergency, using the emergency phone on the highway. And they confirmed everything. They were kind of surprised at first. A foreigner getting lost and wandering up onto the highway. But I told them I'd been walking for a couple of weeks. They confirmed everything. And yep, they took me to their highway substation. And we had a nice long chat. It was all friendly. And so they dropped me off at a safe place on the Nakasendo. Didn't put me too far off track. And I'm at another Kaikatsu club tonight. And gonna get a good night's sleep, go get a shower, wash some clothes. All good. We'll be back on the trail tomorrow. So today's day 17, and the last mountain yesterday was a bit of a doozy. I got lost, the trail just disappeared, it stopped all of a sudden. So I had to find my way down the mountain, which ran into a highway. And the Shiga police picked me up, and got a lot of information. We had a laugh about it, and they sent me on my way and said we'll wait for your letter when you finish this Nakasendo hike. But nice folks, and we're back on the trail this morning. So this little town we're in now, the city is Hikone, but this post town is called Takamiya. And it looks like an interesting little welcome center slash coffee shop or something, but it's closed right now, just right across the street from the shrine. So this is Takamiya Torii Gate. It's right in the middle of the town. Right here in this intersection, but it was built in 1635, almost 400 years ago, and it was the gate that led to the Taga shrine, which is still here, but maybe we'll come back and check it out another time. It's interesting though. They got the post office right there, huge Torii Gate in the middle of town, and everybody drives under it. Interesting. So this butcher shop here has a vending machine, so after hours you can buy steak, different kinds of meat, sausage, hamburger patties. Cool. Here's the site of the Honjin, which is the place that the daimyo would stay, but it looks like someone built a house there, but they kept the gate just across the street from a temple. I found this umbrella laying in a parking lot last night, and have a pachinko parlor, and it's a cheap one, but it was free for me, and I knew it was going to rain a little bit this morning, so don't have to worry about my bag getting soaked again like it did the other day. Here's an English school, Furukawa Eisu Kyoshitsu, English and Math. When you see these golden fields in May, these aren't rice fields, these are wheat. So using it for making bread and beer as well. I was just talking to the old man back there. And Nakasendo. We're coming through the town of Gokasho now, and the sign here says they have a little walking course to see some different things. Let's go check it out, but a little bit hungry. Get some snacks, so let's have some lunch first. Usually when I take small breaks like this, I charge up my GoPro and my cell phone, just so I can be sure I have some battery to take pictures and videos. I'll take a little lunch break here at Nakasendo Pocket Park. Small park, it really is small. This is Gokasho Central Park. This is their public library. And some stuff written over here about the Nakasendo. So it says here that this pine tree is a valuable part of the Nakasendo, that during the summertime it was shade for people walking the Nakasendo, and then during wintertime it helped protect them from the snow. This is interesting. It's a thatched roof home, which I've seen before, but I've never seen them in neighborhoods like this. And I've never seen the thatch on the sides of the house. And this house right here looks like a normal house from the outside, but it has a thatch roof, an old thatch roof on that part of it. And that's the old post office right there. Interesting, like a stone building. And that's the Tokaido bullet train, Shinkansen, that you see running in the background. But this is the lantern for Gokasho town. It was built in 1844, just to light up when you come into the town. Temple's just tucked up in the little alley there. Nakasendo meanders back and forth across usually a main road. It's usually like a main local road now, but it seems like quiet, like you're away from everything, but you're just one block from major roads most of the time. So if you need to stop at a convenience store or a restaurant or something, you're usually not too far from them, at least when you're in bigger cities and towns. But when you're in the middle of the woods, like in Nagano and Gifu and Gunma, you could be, 10, 20, 30 miles from the nearest stores and restaurants. Another way you can be sure that this isn't rice, that it's actually wheat, is rice fields have a lot of water at the base of the plant. They need lots of water to grow. So you can see there's no water in here. So it's wheat. And it's this time it's May. Wheat or rice doesn't harvest until till the fall. You can see how the rice is full of water, yeah. These small rural towns and villages really do have some impressive shrines like this and temples. I don't know where the budgets for them come from. I'm sure some were built centuries ago, when the country was run by one powerful military leader like Tokugawa or someone like that. So I guess they made sure that everyone was put to work building something like this. It's a cool building. It's the old police station for this town. Hachiman police station. And we're going through the post town of Musa-juku. And next to the post office is the Honjin is the outer wall of it. And came around the curve, and this is Musa Station along the Nakasendo. Trains stop here, but it's one of many unmanned stations here in Japan. Just smaller towns like these don't really need a staff to work here. Not enough people using the station every day. So we're gonna cross these tracks and keep on walking. Look at those dark clouds over there. Fortunately, we're heading that direction and have some headwind, so it should be blowing it further away. But let's get moving, just in case we need to find a roof somewhere. We're coming through the town of Yasu right now, and it's a bit bigger than the other towns we've been through today. Seems like as we get closer and closer to Kyoto, this towns and cities get a little bigger and bigger and run more into each other. There's more people and more cars. It started raining a little more. It's probably the most it's rained today. But we're only about 2 or 3K from where we're staying tonight, so should be there in a half hour or so. And just keep on walking. We're crossing the Yas River. We're in Moriyama City. Actually a city after the name. No sidewalks though, a little dangerous. Okay, today's day 18, the final day. We got 27K to go to get to Sanjo Ohashi, the bridge just right outside Kyoto Station, or a few blocks from Kyoto Station. Last night we stayed here at All Time. It's another net cafe similar to Kaikatsu Club, where I've stayed a few times. The Kaikatsu Club here in this town doesn't have showers, so that's why I stayed at this place. But we're just gonna walk a few blocks to the left and get back on the Nakasendo. And just looks like a normal street. You can tell we're kind of getting into city life. This sidewalk is bigger than some roads in Japan. This is nice. You know how in the States, when the car tags start changing from state to state, in Japan they look the same, but the name of the prefecture or the city is on the tag. So we're starting to change from Shiga prefecture into like Kyoto now. And even across the street here you can see Kyoto Shinyo Ginko. It's like a Kyoto Trust Bank. So you start seeing signs that change from city to city and prefecture to prefecture. So that's kind of interesting. And this is it. Route 2 or Nakasendo. We're back on the trail. So a couple of days ago when I crossed from Gifu prefecture into Shiga prefecture, almost exactly when you cross over, everyone tends to speak with a Kansai dialect, which is called Kansai Ben, and it's what people speak when people who live in Osaka and Kyoto area. But I didn't know much about Shiga prefecture, so but people in Shiga speak Kansai Ben. I had a quick prayer to help us down the home stretch, so let's go. 23 more K. We're coming through the town, or the city of Kusatsu, which is the same name as the hot spring town I like to go to in Gunma prefecture. And lots of towns and cities in Japan have the same name, but they usually use different kanji. But this city name and the hot spring town use the same kanji, so a lot of people confuse them. So you have to kind of make sure you say the one in Shiga prefecture or the one in Gunma prefecture. It's the first Nakasendo sign I've seen today. Oh, and FYI, temples and shrines have different benefits depending on the shrine. So, for example, this one is for a safe birth. So, if you're pregnant, this is a good shrine to come pray. Some shrines are if you're going to get married or if you're cutting ties with something like getting divorced or job. So different shrines have different kind of benefits. So you don't have to necessarily go pray at every single shrine and temple. Definitely bigger cities than we've seen in the past couple of weeks. So basically we're going to take this road for about another hour or two till we hit the south point of Lake Biwa. And then we'll go around the end of Lake Biwa, and then that leads right into Kyoto Station. But just before that is Sanjo Ohashi, the bridge, which is our ending point for the Nakasendo Trail. So I just stopped by here, the tourist office here in Kusatsu City, and the old fellow there said if I go to a place next door, it's like a cultural center, that they'll give me a certificate saying that I've done the Nakasendo. So let's go see where this place is. So I'm here at the Kusatsu-juku Kaido Koryukan, the Kusatsu Post Town Hiking Trails Association. Good job. I looked around the museum here for a half hour while they did something special for me. And they gave me a certificate for doing the Nakasendo. It has my name and everything on it. But still have 20 more K to go, so let's do this. So we made it to Biwako, Lake Biwa. And this is where the Seta River feeds into it, and we're gonna cross that bridge. We'll be home free to Kyoto. Lake Biwa is the largest lake in Japan, and it's this is just the south end of it, but it keeps going for a long ways. It's really big, but not as big as the Great Lakes, but it's a huge lake. Here we go. So Biwaichi. This is a national cycle route, and it's one loop around is 193K, which is I guess about 130 miles or so. This street we just came down here in Otsu City. It was pretty nice. Nice old buildings that were restored pretty well. We're gonna take a left here at the Toyoku Inn and head this way. And we're down to the final 10K. So the city we're in, Otsu, is the 68 of 69 post stations along the Nakasendo. The very last one is Kyoto, and this is Otsu-juku. This is the Honjin, after the site of the residence for the daimyo that would stay here. This last little pass before we get into Kyoto, that's nothing to laugh about, but when you've been walking for 18 days from Tokyo and crossed some pretty big mountains, this isn't bad at all. This restaurant says they're the #1 eel in Japan. We have about 6 more K to go to Sanjo Ohashi, our goal. So this road, or that's it, we're going to Kyoto this way. It says it up there, Kyu Tokaido, the old Tokaido. And like I said before, when in doubt, just follow where the temples and shrines are. stone right there, Tokaido. Okay, I see the sign. We are officially in Kyoto. Yay! Small signs, Kyoto Tokaido. It's looking a bit like those rural towns I passed through in Nagano and Gifu. Look at that. There's the sign for our goal, Sanjo Ohashi Bridge. We'll cut off to the left up here. Down to the last 1K. That was a long walk, but it was worth it. Yay, we made it! 18 days, Tokyo to Kyoto, Sanjo Ohashi. Standing on it right here. Man, that's the best feeling. So the big question is why? Some friends and family have asked, why are you going to do this? Walk from Tokyo to Kyoto. So I think the main reasons are, number one is for health. Just pushing 50, 48 now, so going on 50 in a couple of years, so need to think about my health. Number two is some adventure. Never know what's going to happen when you do a trip like this. Number three is meditation. Last year when I walked from Ashikaga to Tokyo, I didn't really think about anything, so it was kind of mentally relaxing. So I figured 3 weeks of walking from Tokyo to Kyoto, it's got to be good meditation. And number four, just for the unknown, you know, not knowing what's going to happen, you know, what can happen on a trip like this. So there were lots of things. Met some interesting people, and saw some interesting places, some places I want to go back and visit. So it's definitely something I want to do again. But a few things that I learned that I wasn't expecting to learn was learned a bit more about myself. I learned that you can push your body more than what you think, and also learned that life is short. You have to enjoy it while you have it. And I've learned that there's a whole big world out there waiting, so just have to go explore. So we'll see where the next adventure takes us. Hope you guys enjoyed the hike, and let me know what your thoughts are. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.